It's always a pleasure having you on EBN TV. This is the Spheres of Life. It's a hope and pleasure that you've had a great day. It is a service day. We know that you had places where you worshiped, and we know you did it very well. This is the Spheres of Life. I'm Jeff Kimayu, and our social media platforms remain TLP TV, YouTube, and Somba Jeff, the legend, on Facebook. Today, yesterday was International Women's Day, and we are pulling yesterday up to date because what we were to do today, we could not take it back to yesterday. So it is International Women's Day. To every woman there, feel special, and everything that you do in this country, in your family, in every space where you are, in every position that you occupy, feel appreciated and feel much honored, because without you, there are a lot of things, and actually a bigger number of things that the opposite gender maybe cannot perform, cannot fathom, and cannot do it as it's supposed to be. So tonight, we have a great topic because I understand that the theme of this year for International Women's Day is Activate Action. And we want to understand what is activating action and what is the action that should be activated. And our topic tonight is leadership in women, not women in leadership. I think when I say that, or when I mention it in such a manner, you understand there is a big difference. Leadership in women and women in leadership. So welcome to EBN TV again. I'm your host, Jeff Kimayu. On board, we have Lilian Wanjiru. She's health promotion strategist from Metropolitan Hospital, and on matters governance, leadership, and strategies that we should apply as a country, as Kenya. I know she understands much on the same, but tonight we are holding much on women because it is International Women's Day. Let's know where you are watching us from, and again, let's know what is your opinion, what is your question when it comes to leadership in women. Welcome to EBN TV, Lilian.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yes. Yeah. How was your day?
It was so fine.
Yeah. So we have a great topic tonight. Yesterday, it was International Women's Day, and I give you opportunity to mention 3 women that you value too much. Not that you value too much, but you give kind of a respect to them because of the things or the impacts that they've done in leadership in women in our country to be functional.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to appreciate my mother.
Yeah.
She's been the pillar of this life. It's because of her that you're having this Lilian at EBN TV. So thank you so much, Mom, wherever you are. I know she's watching me. So happy post-International Women's Day. I love and value you so much.
Great.
I also want to appreciate my grandmother. It has to begin with family. She's been a father to me. So thank you so much, Shosh. I know she's also watching me. So thank you so much. And I have a mentor. To my mentor, Mrs. Wainaina, I love and treasure you.
That's great, and that is enough for recognizing someone who has been something, or even a ladder or a stepping stone into your life. And yesterday's theme was Activate Action. What does that mean when it comes to
activate, or rather to accelerate action? Jeff, we are living in a fast-moving world. Earlier on, leadership, for example, was highly dominated by men, but we're living in a world where now women are taking their position. Now, to accelerate actions is to enhance things that empower women to take their space in terms of leadership and in other aspects of life.
Okay, and I think we shall go deeper into that. Okay, now we have a lot of controversies over this tenure when we have President Ruto in position. And some days ago, like Friday, we saw there is a deal that was signed between Ruto and the opposition leader. And we got the opposition leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. I don't want us to make an opinion, an idea, or any word from what happened. But my question is, suppose we have a woman or a lady president, what do you think things would be?
I believe things will be much better because the most beautiful thing about having a leader as a woman, women lead from the basis of influence as compared to men. Men lead from the basis of possession. You see, so when you're leading from the basis of influence, you tend to be more empathetical. You see, so you'll be having that empathy aspect in leadership, which I believe in our country is highly missing. Yes, we have. I don't want to judge people, but I think what I see, and from my own judgment, what we have in the so-called leadership, the political space of today, is all about I. How can I? You see, but with empathy, we'll be having a question of how can we, because we're able to relate with others, and that is what empathy is all about, and I think that is what is missing. So with a woman in leadership, I think things will be much better.
What do you think now, as we try to compare what is happening from the time Ruto was set into presidency? What do you think are some of the things a lady could have done? Because the moment you just move out and you have conversation with the different people, you'll find it very clear that people are complaining, people are gnashing teeth because maybe the leadership is kind of pushing them into other places. What do you think a lady president would have done to make sure that people are not scrambling, people are not crying, people are not lamenting?
First, I'll begin with appreciating the fact that in as much as Ruto is doing things in a way that we feel that it's really not being fair to the common mwananchi, maybe his agenda is to try to make things better. But as I said, he's not using empathy in doing it because it seems like he's forcing change to happen. But you don't change, you don't force change to happen. It comes with a lot of understanding, and it also requires time. Because you cannot change things overnight. No. Because so that is why I said empathy is lacking. He just feels like when you do things this way, the outcome will be better without having to consider when I do things this way, how will it affect my people? Lack of empathy. So I think if it was a woman who is in leadership, things will be much better. Like this speed we are having of changing things. One day we are in NHIF, the other time we are in SHA. Ata watu hawajaelewa what is SHA, and you see things are being forced. So I think things would be much in order and understanding. Okay,
now you being our lady, and we are celebrating women from yesterday up to date. Sometimes there are some qualifications that maybe a leader should have. What are the limits? What are the thresholds of a lady becoming a president? What do you expect? What are the standards that are supposed to be set, maybe nationally, internationally, or maybe within a certain society, to make sure that when a lady have maybe education, academic qualification of up to this level, or maybe other qualification, what do you think is so much key to make sure that a lady is set into a bigger position in this country?
Well, being a person who don't believe so much in paper, because, well, I know that we have the power of papers, but there is more to life than what paper can offer. So I believe education-wise, a degree is enough. A degree is enough for me, I believe. Then
with that degree, what else? What other qualifications do we need to have? Maybe there are some things that are born within a person that are so natural, and that it's like you've said, you don't believe too much in papers. It is true, our audience, that papers are so much important, but there is a point that maybe our guest tonight is trying to drive in, and I think it is the point of naturality where things happen within themselves, and maybe they are God sent or God given. So what are other qualifications that are naturally given that you should find in a woman or in a lady, so that they ascend into a certain political seat or into a leadership position?
One of the qualifications is social intelligence, because you'll always have to put people ahead of you. And also remember, Jeff, that in terms of leadership, it's not all about I, it's all about we. So without social intelligence, we'll not be able to bring the we effect. The we concept in leadership will not occur. Secondly, you're supposed to be emotionally intelligent, because when you are an impulsive person, a person who just reacts, you know, at a different kind of emotions, then you'll not be an effective leader. Thirdly, you're supposed to be empathetic, as I said. You must be able to put yourself in the shoes of the people you're leading, so that you're able to make decisions that not only are effective to them, but decisions that will help them grow with you. Yes, and thirdly, you should be a person who is confident and always willing to learn. To learn. Yes, because growth will always be. So you cannot be a person who settles. No, you have to keep learning and learning some things and unlearning others.
Okay, and I think when you become a leader, you also have to listen. You have to meditate on some things spoken on some issues that are maybe disturbing or becoming so aggressive to the people that you're leading. So how far or how much are you supposed to listen? Because again, there are some voices, there are some sounds that are too noisy. Even if they are silent, they are too noisy. How far should you listen?
Before you go to how far you should listen, you're supposed to be a free thinker. Because when you're a free thinker, you'll be able to decide, like, okay, there is what I had. When you go back to yourself, you'll be able to decide and say, this is making sense, this is not making sense. Then you'll be able to make logic decisions as a free thinker. So you can listen, you'll listen because you have to listen to every person. And that is why you are a reader. But you're supposed to be a free thinker and now be able to make your own decisions. Yes.
Okay. Now, this is a bit, is looking social, or maybe it is a kind of, it's a technical one.
True.
Between a man and a lady, who is likely to be a good driver?
In leadership. I don't believe...
Even in the real driving. Yes.
In the real driving?
Yeah.
Jeff, what a man can do?
Let me not trust that so much, because some people do that to use it as a kind of a defensive mechanism to make sure that if maybe there is something that you got, you are privileged to get before I do. It's like you want to pull yourself out of the situation in that, suppose I was there, this and that should have happened, or I could have achieved all this you've done. So let's not believe or cling too much into the same. But in the real life, yes, I may have a bigger experience maybe in driving, but someone is coming with 2 years experience, but there are some things that I cannot do, taking away the issue of technology that is affecting this generation. Yeah, so who is likely to become a good driver, a lady or a man?
A lady and a man.
Yeah.
Yes, a lady and a man. You know, we live in a world where, for a very long time, we've suffered male chauvinism, thinking that a man will always do better than a woman. You know, it's not to say that women don't have capacity. That is why I cannot agree in saying that a man will do better. No, I'll never agree. I'll never make peace with that because it's not a fact. The only thing that hinders women, for example, is, you know, a woman is by nature a homemaker. So you find that if, for example, as a woman, I'm a leader in a given position, in a particular position, but again, I have a home to run. And again, I have to make everything is in order. You see, so sometimes you find that the time factor becomes a challenge to us. Also, the social expectations of people. So you find that in terms of growth and leadership, sometimes it takes time for women to, you know, to kind of catch up. But it's not to say that we cannot do. We can.
You can.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I'm told. Sometimes a lady, because of them being too careful, they can make good drivers. I'm not making it controversial, but that is what I can also believe. Yeah, because they are too careful.
Yes, you'll always keep to detail.
Okay, sawa.
True.
It's personal interpretation. Do it by your own self. And now when it comes to leadership in women, not women in leadership, it's like women leadership is not yet in women. So it's like there is something that we're supposed to do to make sure that we have leadership in women.
True.
So, and I understand there are some barriers that make ladies not into be, or women not be into any position, either political, social, there are some things that hinder women from being into leadership. That is why the topic was leadership in women. Yeah. So what are some of the barriers that make women not be in leadership? And I think connecting to that, that's why in the first I said that I asked the concern of what are the qualifications of a woman being to be in a certain position. Yeah. So what are some of the barriers that we find blocking women from being into leadership? Because even if they are in leadership, we find there are those who are able, they are pushed back, that you can't find them in the limelight. So what are the barriers that we find in women trying to enter leadership?
One of them is lack of mentorship. Reason being, as per now, we're having very few women in leadership positions. So you find that the upcoming generation of women who are supposed to be leaders have no one to guide them. So they are all by their own. Secondly is social biasness. As I said earlier, we live in a society where people still believe that men are supposed to be the voice. Men are the ones who are supposed to be saying, which is a very wrong mentality. But we're still suffering it until now. Thirdly is lack of motivation and recognition. I've experienced this myself here. As a woman, you work, you do all you can, but the credit will always go to the man. Whether it be in an organization, in school leadership, and that is really demotivating. And thirdly is, I think it's the role of a woman, who, as I said earlier, in terms of family and everything. So you find that a woman is usually so much held up in family matters. So you find that sometimes it's so hard for her to afford all the time that it takes for them to build themselves to the higher position of leadership. Yeah, such factors.
And do you have threats when it comes to someone aspiring to be a leader? Do you have threats?
Threats? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So it is,
Yes, we do. Because remember, if as a woman I fight for my space, and I appreciate the modern woman, because nowadays I like the way women are coming up, you know, the force they are carrying. But you see, as a woman, the time you push yourself up so much, you start to kinda appear it's like you're dominating men. Definitely, you trigger insecurities. You understand? You trigger insecurity, and it's not such a good thing. But you see, if that is what it takes for you to be a woman fully, then I'll say just trigger the threat. Whoever insecure is insecure. Sorry for them.
Okay, now I give you 50 shillings, and I give 50 shillings to a man. Which 50 shillings not is likely to help more?
The 50 shilling given to a woman. Yes.
Reason?
Because a woman is by nature a very good manager. Remember, we say even in family setup, a man will build a house, but a woman will build a home. You see, the same thing. A house is just a house, like it's just the structure, but bringing that essence, it must come from a woman because she's by nature a natural manager. The same thing, give her 50 shillings, utapata boga, mafuta and everything. Give that 50 shillings to a man, hiyo ni mutura. You understand?
Asituleta mutura tu kwa nyumba.
No.
Ama ni moto ibebeki.
A woman is just a natural good manager. Yes.
Okay. And I think you've noticed some of the threats or some of the barriers that bar ladies from entering leadership. And this world is evolving. Or if we don't want to stretch further from our country, it is very factual that we accept that Kenya is evolving.
True.
And it is evolving in the political arenas where you find what you expect from a leader who's selected and elected is not performing what they're supposed to do. Now, because we are in a point where we're supposed to make sure that our country is salvaged from these ends of these leaders who are not sensitive, who are not focused and determined into what we expect as voters. What do you think we're supposed to do to make sure that the barriers that we find in women aspiring to be leaders, what measures do you think, or what mechanism can we use to make sure that we get off the barriers?
First of all, is to implement the culture of inclusivity. You know, being a woman alone is not a reason enough for you to feel that a woman cannot do it. Because as I said earlier, a woman is just is by nature a very good manager. So we should come up with a culture which includes, makes women to be included in power position and in decision making. Yes. Okay. That will be very key. Secondly, women empowerment programs. It really would help because mentorship, as I said earlier, plays a very good role in bringing up women leaders. Yes.
Okay, now when it comes to, because I think that is the issue of masculinity. And that's maybe in the women from, does it look like a barrier to you?
It is. It is. It's a very big barrier.
Yeah. So what do you think we can do to make sure that we, it's like ladies don't, or women don't see there is something trying to block them from seeing or even from assuming some positions in leadership. Then there is also the issue of education. I know we are at par, we're very close, either you are ahead or slightly below. But that is not up to the statistics that we have right now. But I know we are at almost the same level when it comes to the levels of education and academic performance. And maybe it may be academic qualification, and maybe you did not qualify. You just were pushed to a point of end. We understand there are some things that are fishy that happens around Nairobi to make sure, or around our country, to make sure that you find a certificate for yourself, even if you did not qualify or you did not go through the system of education, maybe. So what do you think we are supposed to adjust in our education to make sure that a lady is featured in as well as a man is done? Because as you've said, a man builds a house, but a lady makes a home. So because there's a difference there, now we need our home, and this is our country. We need it made a home, not a house.
True.
So what are we supposed to do when it comes to our education systems? And maybe there are some suppressions. It's like you have acquired a certain level of education, but we still push you down. We put pants on you that you still never come up. It's like a mushroom growing up, but you cover it, not to be seen. So what are some of the measures that we're supposed to do to make sure that we see a lady coming out?
In the education system?
Yeah.
First, I have to appreciate the current education system, the CBC, because mine was 844, and for real, I really don't think 844 was really helping. That is why I say that sometimes the power of papers doesn't really pay much. But I'm still hoping that other than CBC, we'll have an education system which helps to build a wholesome one. A system which not only focus on giving me some sort of career skills, but to build me as a person. An education system which will include lessons like emotional intelligence, like social skills, like resilience, vitu kama hizo. So I'm still looking forward to that day. Secondly, it's a very high time for women to begin to believe in themselves, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one will ever believe in you. Yes.
And because trying to believe in yourself in a period whereby in a bigger part of your life you've never believed in yourself, what are you supposed to do to make sure that you believe yourself? And after you believe yourself, or even before you believe yourself, there's someone who has noted that you don't trust in yourself, you don't believe that you're strong enough. What are we supposed to do to make sure that we wipe away the spirit, or even the covering of fear, and the point of not trusting ourselves, that we are able to partake some responsibilities as leaders in the country?
Okay, for you to be able to play your role in whichever capacity, actually including in your personal space, you have to first believe that you can. You know, someone said that if you can change the world, you have to begin by making your bed. You see, now confidence begins there. It has to begin from the very basic things in life, and then you grow slowly. Now, your question was, what am I supposed to do to begin believing in myself? The only thing you have to do is to believe in yourself. It doesn't have a starting or an end, because first of all, you're supposed to be believing in yourself already.
Is there anything that we can do, like maybe this has been too long overused, mwalimu hesabu? you score maybe 10%, the other subjects you score so high. And this maybe teacher, and we're not quoting anyone, we're just giving an example
Of Mwalimu
where,
Hesabu.
where you can retrieve your personal trust. Now that you've been told you can never get any better grade in mathematics, and maybe you avoid the group, you avoid the teacher who has been telling, and by avoiding the teacher is, you maybe hear what he has said to you, but you don't keep on thinking about the same thing, and you think about personal growth, personal development, and you think that can be a stepping stone
It
to
really
move
can.
out of the
It
same
really
thing.
can be.
So my question is there anything that one can do? Maybe it's like, I want to carry a load that is 10 kgs of mass to a certain, maybe to 1 kilometer distance. Yesterday, I was unable to do that, but today I feel I have the energy, and I do that half a kilometer. Do you think that is a measure of me wanting to trust now I'm becoming energetic?
That's
Or
true.
maybe I'm being fed in a better way that I can lift something?
True.
Yeah.
Self-motivation.
Yes.
Appreciating the small achievements that you achieve. Because, as I said earlier, growth is a process which takes time. So every little achievement you make, it really helps you. Let me give you a personal story.
Yeah.
When I was connected to the Mwalimu wa Maths,
Yeah.
when I was in primary school, I remember I was studying somewhere, and like many girls out there, I was not so good in mathematics. Not to say that I was dull. Actually, I've always been a bright student.
Yeah.
But one day, the teacher came with a cane. Akatuchapa, and getting to me and a friend of mine, she said that nyinyi hata mkichemshiwa vitabu za hesabu mpewe supu amwezi elewa.
Mwezi pata kitu.
And because I was still a child, that thing got to my mind. It got to my mind. It affected my performance from when I was in class 5 to when I was in class 7. But then along the way, I happened to talk to my mom, because I never told her anything to do with that. And she told me that is the ideology of the teacher. It's not your fact.
Yeah.
So would you start believing that you can? Would you start practicing, the 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times? And by the time I was doing my KCPE, I got a clean A in mathematics. You see, appreciating first, you have to make peace with the fact that there is something wrong. Because for example, in my scenario, in my case, I believed what the teacher told me innocently. Hesabu si yangu. You see that. First, I had to make peace with that fact, then talk to someone and tell them, by the way, this and this has been happening. You see, then that person will kind of reverse my mindset. And I began to improve. Kidogo from 30%, I'm 40%. From
And you're still moving high.
From 40%, 60, 75. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I was saying that don't say that you have to just believe. You can't believe. Yeah. It's like faith. Faith. It's all about believing something that you've not seen, and
true.
you're not even sure that it exists.
It exists. True.
Yeah. So the same thing, because you exist. And what is battling you still exists. What is fighting you is still there. You have to go, you have to think, you have to collect yourself back, and you have to know the strategies that you come back with to make sure that now when I come, I don't take all of you.
True.
I'll start from the roots.
I agree.
And one time I'll make sure that I'm there. So now, because there are those education threats, maybe masculinity threat and other threats when it comes to leadership now, maybe transferring the spirit of leadership from men to women. Because maybe our society has not believed that a woman can do and can become a good leader. And me, as I stand here, I'm not supposed to make my opinions, but what I know is lady leader, I think, can make a good leader
True. I agree.
if supported well. So on that note, we have the threats, we have the barriers. Do you think of another thing that we can do as a society to make sure that, because I also think we also retrieve a performance from other examples that were maybe we had an MP, a lady MP from maybe a certain constituency, they did not perform. So if you're still pushing yourself to the same position, you still fail as MP X did at a certain time or period or tenure, maybe like 5 years tenure or 10 years tenure. So this is like you just want to listen to people's words, then you follow them, then they pull you down into the bedrock. So what do you think we can do to make sure that a woman believes that any threat driven can also be taken away?
First is to do away with the aspect of comparison, because even me, I've been found guilty of that, being compared to other people. And it's funny how it's so much directed to women than it is to men.
Yeah.
You'll always hear them saying, tulichagua mama fulani akaanguka hata huyu atafanya hivyo. You know, we have to come to peace with the fact that I am me, I am not lady A or lady B. I am me. So we are supposed to do away with the aspect of comparison. It really doesn't help. It has a way of crushing the self-esteem, the self-esteem of a woman. We have to do away with that. Secondly, we need to empower women, because I believe that women can take this country far. Women can take organizations far. Women can take companies far. We really need to empower women, and definitely to pay them right. Because I've heard of scenarios where a person is being paid less just because she's a woman, because people believe that they cannot deliver much. A woman is not there to perform but to support, which is a very wrong mindset. We are there to perform also, and a man can be supporting. In the near future, like in 10 years' time, I see a country where when a man is the CEO, then the woman is the founder. Yes.
Okay.
So we need to be empowered, because we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can. Yes, we can. Okay, that's great. Remember, you're watching EBN TV. The Spheres of Life. Tonight's topic is leadership in women, and yesterday's theme was activate action. If there is something that is within yourself and is still sleeping, you are able to activate it, and so do activate it. Remember to send your comments on our social media platforms, TLPTV on YouTube and Somba Jeff the Legend on Facebook. We're still moving on with the topic, and I hope you're getting something. If you have a question, you have an opinion, you have a comment, you can still share, and we shall be reading it in a short while. So welcome back to EBN TV, Lilian.
Thank you.
Now we have the issue of but before we go to the impact of leadership in women, or from women, or what we retrieve from the leadership that we find in women, there is an issue. What are we supposed to do in our constitution to make sure that we have an inclusive constitution when it comes to the articles of leadership in our constitution? What are we supposed to do?
Before making the decisions, let's consult women who are there, who are in position already. Those MPs that you see, those governors who are women, let us take time and listen to their voices, because you'll come to discover that sometimes they are not listened to. That is why they later on come out to make noise to the public, which sometimes is considered as incitation, of which it is not. It simply means that what they could have aired, what they could have said was not taken seriously. And honestly, it could have led to maybe a more sound constitution, or a more sound whichever article that the government make for the nation. But they were not given a chance, or they were not listened to. Their opinions were not taken seriously. So let us listen to the women. Let us give them chance to air their views. Yes. Okay.
Now, we've seen women in leadership, and we've seen some perform. We've seen others underperform, and we've seen others not perform at all. What is the positive impact of women in our current leadership?
Women in our current leadership. Currently, we've seen so many organizations which are helping children, for example, to go to school, which are helping women, which are helping children to run away from drugs and lead meaningful lives. For example, there is this organization that was started by the former by the wife of the former vice president, and it really helped a lot of youths you know, to come back to to themselves and lead meaningful life. You know, that is why I was speaking about empathy, because when we're speaking about empathy, it's about others, it's about considering others, and that has led to a more meaningful lives, to more meaningful lives to the youths and the general public. Yes.
Okay. So this is to mean when we put more women in leadership, and as you said, we have women in leadership, but as per you say, it's like the number that we have in leadership is not fit.
Yeah.
So you want to think this position should be increased for women, or they should be expanded for women. And on that note, we have maybe a lot of MPs, a lot of CSS, PSS. We have a lot of governors. We have a lot of positions that are newly created in our system of leadership. What do you think we're supposed, because when you do it economically, when you do it in the leadership style, or you find when it comes to what a country gives out as an income, you find it is given out, it is coming out in a big number, but when it comes to division or even spreading, there is a word that you use to make sure that if it's circulation, you find that mandatory circulation in our country is very low. And when you go to, maybe you look at the GDP of our economy in our country, you find it is too high, but what trickles down to the people, or to people who voted these people up, you find there is nothing that is coming up. And I connect this with the number of leaders that we have. Do you think we're supposed to reduce the leaders that we have, or the position of leadership that we have, or do you think we're supposed to expand, or we remain at the same position?
No, I don't think we should remain in the same position. First of all, me personally, I feel that there are some positions that you're having, most in the political space, that are not relevant. So we're supposed to reduce those numbers. Then secondly, we're supposed to have is it 50 to 50 share, like where you're having 50 MPs in the parliamentary, 50 MPs who are men, 50 MPs who are women. But for some of these positions, they are really not relevant. Yeah. Okay.
Now there is a report from EACC. Some days back, it was like Kenya is losing like 7 billion every day, which is a report that is not certified. But last week, EACC reported a bribery to traffic police officers that is amounting to 3 billion every month. This is evaporating to 100 million every day. What do you think we're supposed to do when it comes to, because when it comes to our police, to our security body and team, it is a system of big people, a system maybe of great people in the panel. What do you think we're supposed to do to make sure that we beat the devil or the monster, corruption and graft in our country?
Well, Jeff, there we have a lot of work to do, because for a very long time we've been singing about openness. We need openness, we need clarity, but it's like that voice never goes anywhere. We need, for now, we need very strict rules. You know, that and by the way, we need more accountable people in the government, because I think the people who are there, they are so selfish. I mean, how do you feel when you're having that kind of money going into, I'll call it waste, when you have the common mwananchi struggling to even afford food daily? You have people who are so selfish. If I was to be in power, there are so many people who lose jobs immediately.
You sure you'll be strict unto that point? Because one of the challenges that maybe we find in women is that before you feel the aspiration or the desire to become a leader, then you aspire, you are selected, and you are elected at the same time. You still go there with the fiery spirit that when I go there, I'll change this and this and this and this. And I think it is a coiled system whereby the moment you are at this position, there is nothing you can do. So as women, it is in the nationals, it is International Women's Day. What can you do? Suppose you get into that position whereby you're supposed to control graft, you're supposed to control corruption, and nothing should come fishy into your ministry. What are some of the measures that you're supposed to apply to?
Thank you. As you said, sometimes the problem is the systems. So I'll try to challenge the systems. And in the process of challenging the systems, that will give me an opportunity to have the people who will so much corrupt exposed. And then through that way, they'll surely go home. They really would be.
You sure that will work?
It may not work immediately, but eventually it will work because it's all about being smart and having a definite way of doing things, which might be subtle but powerful.
Okay. Yeah. Now, as you climb up the ladder into that position, do you think you'll make some laws that fit you? To make
the laws that fits me? Okay. Not exactly laws that fits me, because again, in leadership, whenever you bring the discussion from what fits people to what fits me, you definitely fail. I'll try to make rules that fits people in a way that will also accommodate me. Yes.
Okay, accommodate you in doing something to develop a community and a society, or something that will just keep expanding your pockets?
The society, with me being part of the society, yes.
Okay, now we're just going for a short break, that we're reading some of the comments that we're receiving. When you come back, we saw President some days ago giving out a donation of 20 million to a certain church in this country, and we've seen a lot of fight, we've seen a lot of pull and push here and there. Today, in Eldoret, a church that we won't mention because the data is still not confirmed, is still given 20 million. And we are told that is claiming that no one will bar him from doing what God wants. That is when we come back. This is the spheres of life. We have Diana Mwanya. Good evening, Austin Lilian. Thank you for bringing this wonderful program. Tuned in from Westlands, we have David Jue tuned in. Danu Felicitas watching live from Kayole. We have Cheryl Amageni. I don't know that what means. There are ladies who are good drivers. Men are born leaders, but for a woman, it is a gift. Okay, so when it comes to a gift, it is so big, it is so powerful. We have Douglas, a beautiful program. We have Douglas again watching from Arambi and getting some insights. We have Diana Mwanya again. Thank you for deepening our understanding on leadership in women. We have again Dina Faith Ahmed tuned in. We have Dina Mwanya again, thank you for imparting wisdom and knowledge to women. We will now take our positions, okay? We've Denvis Mazige, and Denvis Mazige from Radio Mshindi. Tuned in, we have Cheryl Mageni. Again, the system is constant. They are definitely eating together. And there is also, again, Cheryl Mageni, as we started off the show, I think she said that women are good in leadership because they have instincts, and they can predict further than where men can do. I think that is a thought for a different day. Yeah, so we had, and we have 2 minutes. We saw that issue of 20 million a few days ago, and today we have reports that we are yet to confirm that 20 million still maybe pledged or given. We're not sure. What do you take of these donations our president is doing to these churches?
Well, let us first make peace with the fact that being given donations as a church is not a bad thing. But now where it's coming from, you see, considering the current state of the nation, for a president to go and give 20 million to a church, it's kind of, I'll take it as an insult to the common mwananchi who is struggling to afford medication, who is struggling to afford daily meals, who is struggling to pay school fees. It was not a good thing to do, most as a president, from where he's sitting. It was not. I'll say it was not a wise decision. Yeah, even if he really had to give the money, then he would have found a more diligent and a more decent way of doing it. But coming out to the public and doing that, considering where we are as a nation, it was so wrong.
Suppose she was our lady president.
I don't think it would have happened. I'm not trying to defend women, but I am a woman. I understand how we operate. I don't think, even if as a woman I was to go and give that the 20 million, saying in
you
the...
could better buy a packet of unga and some
I would rather buy a packet of ungas.
A bigger number of families.
Yes.
Okay, and on that front, I think we are coming to an end of our show. You give your identity to our audience, where people can find you, then your final word. I give you 30 minutes. 30 seconds, sorry.
Thank you so much. Lilian Wanjiru is my name, a health promotion specialist by career. I am on Facebook, Lily Karaoke, phone number 0740313264. Yes.
Social media?
Social media, I'm on Facebook, it's Lily Karaoke. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Your final word?
My final word to women is that it's our time to shine. It's our time to be. It's our time to show the world who we really are. So let us come together. Let us mastermind. We really can take this country far. Yes, we have the power.
Okay.
We have all it takes.
That's great. And when you climb up the ladder, don't forget men. When you do the same, don't be biased. When you do the same, don't take parts.
True.
Okay, that's great. Remember, you've been watching EBN TV, the Spheres of Life. Our tonight's topic is Women in Leadership, and the theme was Activate Action. We're doing this because yesterday, 8th of March 2025, and this is done every 8th of March every year. It is done to commemorate about women or celebrate women in our country, and that is why today we decided to do that. Our social media platforms here remain Somba Jeff the Legend on Facebook, TLP TV on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sending in your comments. Thank you for finding your time to listen to our stream. I've been your host, Jeff Kimayu. Until next time, we bless your night and we bless your week. Bye bye and have a good night.